The question I was going to ask, definitely to you, Zittel, is do you feel as if, of course, jump in, you guys, beyond not getting a knockout last night, do you think that last night's fight, to me, in my perspective, was a very real boxing match with true setting up and true counterpunching and true generalship of the ring on both? It was pure, right? Do you think that this was extremely necessary to the sport, where we got a Tank Davis and a Jake Paul coming soon, and we got a Mike Tyson and a Floyd Mayweather coming soon? I think that this was a very, very key fight for the future of boxing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was a good fight. You know, maybe your casual fan wants an all-out war, Hagler-Hearns, Leonard-Hearns, but I think there was enough action, and I think Crawford displayed his skill enough, even to someone with not the most trained eye, that they know they saw a very high-level athlete perform something at a very high level last night. I think he gained the sports world's attention last night and respect. He already did after Spence, but it went to another level in this fight.
And I think even the fight itself, like just from a median level, but then the moments where they were having these exchanges, like kind of late in the fight, then people were like, all right, it was good. Then like, okay. I saw somebody like, they're squabbing. Like, there's a fight here. So I think it did.
And Crawford closed the show.
Yeah.
In 10, 11, 12, he stood in there and landed some hard shots and rocked Canelo at the bell. He didn't. Well, James was talking about the great Floyd Mayweather. Floyd would go up on you 8-0 and then coast, and you might as well turn the fight off at midway through the ninth. Like, you know, he's not going to. But Crawford didn't do that. But he wasn't up 8-0, to be fair to Floyd. But Floyd was when he fought Canelo, so he could do that. But Bud instead steps on the gas. Bud is a finisher. You know, he closes really strong. He closes really strong in every exchange. That's one of his gifts. He's the best counterpuncher of his era, one of the greatest counterpunchers that lived. But the great fighters, James would tell us about this. James and Mike McCallum put on fights that exemplify what I'm talking about: initiating and punctuating, being first, being last. That's one of the things that makes Crawford who he is. So no, I think it was a good enough fight that it certainly didn't hurt boxing.
Yeah, I think sport of boxing delivered last night. I mean, Earl Crawford didn't deliver.
Yeah,
Manny.
Yeah, it did.
It did?
It definitely delivered. I argue that with you all the time.
I'm talking about both fighters.
I don't give a
in the
damn
ring.
what you. That fight delivered.
Mayweather, Pacquiao, that didn't deliver.
To me,
Does the card factor in last night at all? Overall?
If you're on the East Coast, I'm pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Fight started at 1 a.m.
Well, didn't Dana talk about how terrible the pacing is in boxing cards? That's what I mean, a little bit of hubris. Like, oh, boxing, they're so dumb. The PBC starting pay-per-views at 5 now. They've traditionally always been at 6, and it's like, we're going to make it move faster and get the main event in the ring sooner while starting the show later. Why? Because we're us.
The reaction to this fight really isn't explained by the action that you saw in the ring. There were no knockdowns, certainly not a knockout. There wasn't a ton of in-the-pocket exchanges where both guys are eating leather and giving the best that they got.
A lot of mid-range.
What you saw last night was something that was relatable to humans. And that's why after the fight, I'm noticing that the crossover is excited about a fight that didn't have those elements that most low-hanging fruit can do to get people excited. What you saw was a superstar being born. You saw a guy doing something that was deemed impossible. People can relate to that. Mm-hmm. You saw someone in the moment creating a challenge for themselves and overcoming it in front of the world. Yep. That's the narrative that people are attracted to, and that's what's resonating about this fight. That's why Terence Crawford moving forward, you saw a changing of the guard. You've seen the old line, and I don't mean in years or age, but in stature. Canelo's the guy that most people who don't know boxing knew coming into this fight. They're expecting him to win, even if they don't know why. And they saw him try his best against a guy who was doing everything right. And that guy who was doing everything right in that scenario was the young lion overtaking the giant. Everybody can relate to that. That's what that fight means, and that's how it'll resonate in history. Netflix won last night because they put on a show on a platform that's not sports, and they put on a show like you might see on Netflix. That shit was a movie.